We are suffering from the worst case of analysis paralysis that I have ever seen. And I'm speaking coming from finance TikTok and finance YouTube. I teach my 219,000 followers on TikTok and nearly, or maybe by the time you're watching this, 10,000 followers on YouTube how to invest, trade if they're interested, and most importantly, live below their means. And I've noticed, as I'm sure many of you have, that every space is oversaturated with creators. And it doesn't matter where you look. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, name your social media platform, name your niche, and it is swimming with creators. In every niche, we have fitness, food, recipes, healthy eating, skin, beauty, makeup, finance, parenting, comedy, sports, weightlifting, bodybuilding, name it. The space is saturated. I can't think off the top of my head of a single space that isn't overwhelmed with creators. And on the one hand, it's great. It's great that everyone feels knowledgeable about things or wants to share their passion. Not all of it has to be education-based, right? Some of it can be opinions on politics, opinions on professional wrestling, opinions on anything. And that's great. It's great. Getting on social media is one of the best things I've ever done for my confidence, for my public speaking. I used to have this terrible fear, and this is from someone who wanted to be a professional wrestler. I had a terrible fear of public speaking in high school, especially. And my mom, rightfully so, would ask me, she was like, "You want to be a wrestler, man? How, you see these guys on Monday Night Raw cutting promos in the ring in front of 20, 30,000 people. How the hell are you going to do that when you can't even give an oral presentation in your history class?" And a lot of it was because I wasn't confident about what I was talking about. But even still, when I had my notes in front of me and getting up in front of the class to give a presentation, I would freeze. I'd be terrified. And all my teachers would say, they would all say, "Hey, eye contact, look at us, look at the people. And I couldn't do it. I was like this the whole time. And if we ever went to a bar mitzvah or a wedding or bat mitzvah or anything like that where there was a cameraman and he would walk around and say "Hey, would you like to say something to the bride and groom, or would you like to say something to the bat mitzvah girl?" I was pure terror. You put the camera in my face, I didn't even know what the event was. If it was a bar mitzvah, I was saying happy birthday. I was terrible on camera. If you go back, if you're so inclined, and watch some of my earlier YouTube videos, they're awful. I was sitting in the chair across from me over here, and I would prop up my camera. Now it's on a tripod. There's a microphone. I have lights. They're not on right now, but I have studio lights. I have the whole setup. But in the beginning, I didn't have a tripod. I would just stack the phone up against some books, and I'd look down at the camera. I didn't know where to put it. Anyway, social media has been great for me. It's given me a voice. It's made me more confident, I think. I don't know, but I think if I was at a wedding or an event and someone put a camera on my face and said, "Say something," I'd be able to say something off the cuff, as opposed to years earlier when I would freeze. It's improved my intelligence. I was a stock trader for 13 years, and I knew what I needed to know, and I didn't know anything else, and I didn't have to, and I think that's important. So many people, and this is part of that information overload that we have in this analysis paralysis that we should probably speak on, is prior to me getting on TikTok as a content creator and YouTube, I knew the bare minimum. I couldn't tell you what half this stuff was, and I didn't need to. Man, that's really important now that I think about it. I didn't need to know any of this stuff. I understood Bollinger Bands, relative strength, volume. That's it. And when you go on the charts, and maybe I'll put some screenshots over, and you look at all the indicators and all the patterns and all the different charts and stuff like that, man, it's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. And I'm talking to people who are interested in trading or swing trading, day trading, swing trading, neither. Maybe just investing. this information overload is becoming a problem. What I really wanted to talk about was what happened in my live this morning. I go live on TikTok Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern time zone. And a lot of my lives are basically cookie cutter. Like, one is no different from another because I field questions from the audience. And a lot of the times the questions are specific, like, what do you think of PayPal stock? Or what do you think of Disney? Or is this a good dividend? But a lot of the time, the questions are more vague. And it's a prime illustration of our analysis paralysis, where people will sit on the sidelines and do nothing because everything else seems so overwhelming and so complex. And today, someone asked me between 3 index funds, this one, or this one. And man, they're all so similar. I mean, there are nuances. They're a little different. One has higher fees, one has lower fees, their fees are in the middle. They're all reasonable. All the fees were under 1%. All of them were minimal, in my opinion. And they all paid dividends. And their dividends were all fine, 3%, 5%, 3%. One was 3.2, one was 3.25, one was 3.5, one was 4. One had higher fees, one had lower fees. One went up, 15% in the last decade, and the other went up 12%, and one was up 7. I mean, they were so close. And she was like, I can't, or they, whoever it was like, I can't decide which one. And I was like, man, it doesn't matter. Just pick one. They're all basically the same. Maybe one has a fee that's a little higher. Maybe one has a dividend that's a little higher. Maybe one's growth over the last 10. It doesn't matter. The idea here is for new investors, just start. Especially if you're new to the point where you're sitting there going, I don't know what to buy. Index funds, man. Index funds. Well, there's SPLG, there's VOO, there's SPY. Which one do I choose? Just pick one. I'm going to put a graph up on the screen here to show you what it looks like based on their dividends when you invest. You'll see it's all basically the same. The price might be different based on how many shares they hold. It's called It's called AUM, assets under management. And some of them have more shares. Others have less shares. But at the end of the day, their growth is the same. Their dividends are the same. Just pick one and get started. Because if you don't, the more you sit on the sidelines, the more you're going to drive yourself nuts. And you're going to go, well, there's too many options. And this is true too for content creators that people trust and look to. Man, if you go on TikTok and you start looking at content creators in the finance space, when I first joined TikTok around 4 years ago, there were 3 or 4 others. That's it. TikTok didn't have content creators in the finance space. TikTok it's actually kind of a funny story. I had started on YouTube and I was like, well, I need to promote my YouTube videos. So I'm going to start an Instagram account. And the Instagram account will be snippets of the YouTube videos. And, hey, if you want to watch more, here's the link, go watch it. And about a year in, I had nothing. I had 50 YouTube subscribers and 187, I think, Instagram followers. And I was like, man, nobody's watching my videos. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's engaging. I am wasting my time. This hobby, which I thought would be fun to just share some knowledge. And I wasn't trying to become a content creator. Now I'm a full-time content creator. I wasn't trying to do that. I didn't have a goal. I didn't say, well, I want almost 20,000 TikTok followers. I didn't have a goal. I didn't think I was going to be able to monetize and do brand deals. And I thought, well, this was a fun hobby. I did it for a year, back to trading. And someone at my gym just happened to say, like, no, you need to be on TikTok. And all I knew from TikTok was that it was like teenagers loved it and they would lip sync and dance in their bedrooms. And I was like, I'm like early 30s at this point, and I'm like, this is not I'm an adult. I'm a grown. I'm losing my head. Like, no, I'm not gonna get on TikTok and make TikTok videos. And he was like, no, trust me. TikTok is changing. Gary Vee said so. And I was like, who the fuck is Gary Vee? Never heard of Gary. I was like, who's Gary Vee? And he was like, it's changing. Get on TikTok. And took off like a rocket. Now I have 200,000 followers, more than that. I get brand deals. I make money through brand deals, through YouTube and stuff like that too. And I never would have expected this. But back in the beginning, there were like 3 or 4 other people who were making TikTok videos on the stock market. You go on now, I couldn't even make a number up. Thousands, probably. Thousands. Between TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, people creating content on finance, on fitness, on recipes, on dance videos, on instructions, education, opinions, movie reviews, music reviews, whatever. There's so much for the average person out there watching. Who do you trust? Do you buy the guy's course? He's talking about, he's got a Lamborghini. He's wearing a Rolex. He must know what he's talking about. His course is $500. If it's going to make me have a Lamborghini, well, maybe I should buy it. And we have this, there's just so much that it's hard to know who to trust. It's hard to know who to listen to. It's hard to know whose advice to take, which is why my channel, by the way, is based on all education, no advice. I don't come out and say, go buy this stock. I come out and say, here's all the facts you need. Now you make your own decision. Here's what the analyst said. Pro, here's what the analyst said. Con, we break it down, and I never say, I'm gonna buy it. In fact, I make it a point to almost never talk about what I'm buying. Not 100% never. I do talk about it because I think it's important sometimes to share why I decided to buy or why I decided to sell. But generally, my channel is not based on go buy what I buy. Go, here's what I'm trading this week. You copy me. It's education. Because I want to keep it as simple as possible and help people, not have it where trust me, I'm the only one who's going to give it to you straight. I'm the only one who's going to tell you what to do. All these other people out here, I'm not trying to sow division or make people, I'm not trying to rag on other creators. I'm not trying to build my name like that. I want to build my name on I'm educating and helping. I'm passing on what knowledge I have. And I think it gets to the point where it's like, people sit on the sidelines and they're like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to listen to. Which ETF is right, which stock, which this, which that, which pattern for day trading. Should I day trade? Should I swing trade? What's most important if you're new and you're not sure what to do is to just start. Stop over analyzing these things. Well, this one's ETF expense ratio is this, and the dividend is a little lower. But this one, the dividend's a little higher, but the fee, pick one. Pick one. I'm not saying go invest in highly speculative, dangerous things you don't understand, but when it comes to broad market index funds, where their dividends are basically the same, their growth is basically the same, their fees for S&P 500 index funds, their fees are so low they might as well be free. Don't stress over, oh, well, this dividend is a little higher, or this dividend is a little lower, but the fee is a little, you're going to drive yourself nuts. And what I'm most concerned about is that people aren't going to do anything. They're just going to sit on the sidelines and do absolutely nothing. They're not going to make any investments because they're terrified. They're not going to make any stock trades because they don't know which pattern. That's why I'm a big fan of saying, like, hey, when it comes to the patterns that I use for day trading, I keep it as simple as possible. And I know a lot of people build their channels, especially people selling courses, on showing you different patterns and different analysis and different indicators and different charts and different this and different that to confuse you and make you feel stupid. So you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to buy their course and make them rich. No, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it all simple. If you're new and you don't know what to invest in, index funds. I own SPLG. The others are VOO and SPY. Which one is better? No, we're not having that conversation. Pick one. Doesn't matter. Change your mind later. You want to get a different one? Not really necessary. Do whatever is in your heart. Look, most of these investments, most of these broad market index funds, these high quality ones are good. Don't worry yourself. Don't drive yourself nuts. Well, which dividend ETF is better? Which one is better? Pick one. Pick one. Pick one. Stay consistent. That's the goal. As long as you are in good quality investments, that you understand what you're getting, you're gonna be fine. If someone comes to you and says, oh, no, this one's better, maybe it's marginally better, but at the end of the day, when it comes to broad market index funds, they're all fine. They're all fine. Look for low fees, look for dividends, look at the 10-year growth, look at their top 10 holdings, pick one. Don't drive yourself nuts. Now, we can get more in the weeds later. Once you've got that foundation and you want the next level is different kinds of ETFs and funds like that. Dividend focused, growth focused, tech focused, maybe some real estate investment. Then we can start delving a little deeper, doing a little bit more research. But even still, unless it's a garbage fund, which has terrible performance, high fees, garbage dividend, and you'll find them and you'll be able to recognize them on your own, then you don't pick that one. You look at others, you do your research, you go on websites like Investopedia. If you want to learn more, I have a free resource guide. It's gonna be in the description below. It is a free resource guide, and it has all the best places that I go to do my research. So I'm simplifying it. And I hope that this video helped. I hope that at the end of the day, when you have analysis paralysis, push it to the side. Look at how the S&P 500 has done over the last 30, 40 years. Little blips here and there. And that's another thing. People will say, like, well, when's the right time to buy? This creator says this time, that creator says this. Ignore them all. Nobody is telling you to run out and buy your whole position today, and the reality is most people can't afford to do that anyway. So just start. Stop stressing over when's the right time, what's the right fund. You'll drive yourself nuts, and you might never get started in the first place. All right, 17 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Thank you for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, please hit the bell to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. See you later.